Hello everyone, my name is Keith McGregor and welcome to the webinar. Today we're going to be talking about from leads to students. So get them, nurture them, convert them. So this is all about the lead process and ultimately converting them to a student. Now, if you've taken my previous webinars, we talked about email. We talked about attendance and retention. We talked about automated billing. It all kind of leads into this. Okay, what do we do now? We've got our systems in place, and if you don't have your system in place, that's okay. We have those webinars. They're recorded, and they're on our Facebook page. You can always go on there and retrieve those webinars. Likewise, you can always go to our website. We do have a page just for our webinars where you can see all the previously recorded webinars. And we offer live training, and obviously a lot of you know about our setup process with our success coaches to get those kind of things set up. Now, like I was saying, it's the issue now of how do we get leads? What do we do with the leads? Okay, so first step here, what is the growth formula? And we talked about this quite a bit before. Typically leads, you convert them to members, you're closing the back door, that's all about the retention. You develop loyal clients and you ask for referrals, and in turn you get more leads. So the real key here is you need to get leads in the first place. So ultimately, if you have a decent-sized student base, that's your gold mine right there. You're looking for student referrals. But ultimately, we still have to look for new business elsewhere. So we need to get those leads. And so what we're going to talk about is a bit about student referral and the best practices to get leads in the first place. Again, closing the back door goes back to retention. And again, we went into that extensively in the attendance and retention webinar. Anybody who didn't watch that webinar, I suggest you do watch that. That's all about closing the back door. Now, your website is your most important online presentation. So this is the face of your business. So your website represents you. This is your first impression. So ultimately, somebody goes on your website, they're typically going to look at it for less than 30 seconds. If they're unimpressed, they're going to leave. Now, like I always say, and if for those of you, and probably a lot of you have your websites done by ChampionsWay, you know, well, we know what we're doing when it comes to websites. It's all about your presence, so we want to make sure it looks professional and that the design is to perfection. So the other things you need to have on your website, it needs to be easy to update. So one of the things in there, we have the website editor built directly on your website. So you can always go in there and update. And this is not a big push, to push our websites. For those of you who don't have websites with us, I'm going to talk about that too. But I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, you need to be able to edit your website. So whether you do your website with us, whether you do it with somebody else, make sure it's easily accessible to update it. Make sure it's user-friendly. So this is a big thing, and we get this a lot. A lot of clients that we have, they want multiple tabs, they want drop-down menus, they want multiple pages. Remember, your website is for your leads, essentially. You're giving them a little taste of your school. The way I liken a website is, you look at like a movie trailer. Movie trailer comes out, and you get excited to see that movie. Whatever that movie is, the trailer gives you a little teaser of that movie and makes you want to go buy a ticket for it. Well, that's what your website is. It's a teaser. You don't need to have everything on your website. For those of you who want to have 60 pages, I mean, I'm just going to be brutally honest here, nobody's going to read it. So, I mean, always remember, it's just a teaser of what your school has to offer and entices them to come and check it out. Now, websites need to be social. I mean, you got to be active on Facebook. You got to be active on Twitter, your social media outlets. And for those of you who are not, and I've talked to a few schools, and hopefully, none of the schools are in this webinar right now. There are schools that still do not believe in Facebook. So I mean, that's a dinosaur mentality now. You have to be on Facebook, you have to be on Instagram, you have to be on Twitter. So make sure you're involved in social media. Have online booking and selling features. So the idea about this is, and some of you probably already do it, put your intros online. Have your intros online to book. Have an online store. It doesn't cost you anything to have it. So essentially, I mean, anything you get from it is gravy. So we're always saying put it out there. So if somebody is interested in booking an intro, have your intros online. And for those of you who use Perfect Mind, you simply create the intro, make it available to the public, and ensure that you have Book Me, either one linked to your website if it's not with ChampionsWay, or if it is with ChampionsWay, just make sure you have Book Me on your menu, which is a 2-second adjustment. If you don't have it, just call customer support. They can add it for you. Now, mobile friendly. This day and age, you need a mobile website and you need a desktop website. The two can't be one and the same, and you all know what this is. When you're going on a website on your phone and you're scrolling from side to side because you're getting the desktop view, you need a mobile friendly website. And when I say back to being user friendly, we're talking about websites now, 60 pages and so on, your mobile site should be even simpler. That's the real key. Your mobile site's just giving you the very basics. People are not going on a mobile site to read about, the extended history of karate. They'll go and they'll look that up on Wikipedia. So in that case, when you're doing your mobile site, just make sure it's very user-friendly and simple. Now, make it easy for leads, a visible opt-in form. So what an opt-in form is, some of you know it as a landing page, but what it typically is it's that promo that you're offering. So enter your first name, last name, email address for a free week. Whatever it is, whatever the promotion you're offering, don't make that form hard to find, okay? Now, you see it on our websites all the time. It's always right on the front page. And for those of you who do, social media marketing or Mr. Marketer, we connected to the program buttons. It's easy to find and it's everywhere. That's one of the key features about this. For those of you who don't do websites, and again, I'm not here to push our websites on those of you who don't do websites with us, but make sure you have a landing page that at least links to your software. Okay, it needs to be connected to your internal management system. Now, if that's Perfect Mind, that's easy to do. All you have to do is ask us for an online form, and we can give you the embed. So if you're not doing a website with us and you're doing your website with WordPress or somebody else, you can embed the actual form that will link to Perfect Mind. So when a lead comes onto your website, enters their first name, last name, email address, it automatically goes into Perfect Mind. Perfect Mind automatically sends you an email. So that's really the key, okay? We're going to talk a bit about that, what to do once you get that email. So connected to an automated email marketing app. So, these are things here you can actually send a lead information automatically through Perfect Mind. So again, for those of you who didn't catch the email webinar, and this is what I was saying, those 3 webinars that I conducted before were all leading into this. This is sort of where we're tying it all in together. Watch that webinar, and again, it's on our Facebook, it's on our website, and for those of you who can't find it and you want it, email marketing@championsway.com, and we'll send it to you, okay? So you can actually have that webinar, and that'll talk about automated emails that come out to leads, and that's part of lead nurturing, okay? So that's just a way to keep the lead engaged. Lead enters their information in on the website, then automatically the system sends something out thanking them, congratulating them for their interest. Whatever it is that you ultimately want, you set it up. But it's a nice little touch when a lead enters their information. Measurable. When I say measurable, you need to know where your leads are coming from, and you got to know how many leads you're getting from a specific campaign. And we're going to talk about campaigns a little bit later. You need to know what is working and ultimately what is not. So you need to have a reporting system. And again, obviously, Perfect Mind has the reports to track your leads and campaigns. Those of you who don't know what a campaign is just simply how they heard of you. Okay, so what was the marketing strategy to get the lead? Now, you can track costs of campaigns as well. So you could say, for instance, track, your newspaper ad campaigns or your magazine ads or your radio ads. But your website is ultimately, your website form. You can track that as well. So you can see exactly how many leads you're getting from a specific website opt-in. Now, this is a big one, and this is one that a lot of people had asked for. So we decided to put it together. So again, you've heard me talk about it if you've been in my past webinars about business intelligence. We call it BI. Business intelligence is measuring within the Perfect Mind system. So for those of you who know us, obviously we have thousands and thousands of martial arts schools as clients. So our business intelligence ultimately can tell us what works, what doesn't. That's how we get our information in terms of building websites. We know what websites generate the most leads. Those are ultimately the websites that we build for our clients. And as newer site designs come out and they start to, improve, work a little better, then we start introducing those sites. So, I mean, this is really the key behind business intelligence. But the one thing that we found with business intelligence is what kind of website forms work the best. Okay, so this is just a general idea. So the idea is enter your information, no real offer, okay, and this is based off of 100 people. Okay, so out of 100 people, if you ask for the name, the email, and the phone number, you're likely to get a 1% lead rate. So out of 100 people, you're going to get one lead. There's nothing really enticing about this, and it's not going to work all that great for you. Now, 100 people come to your website and they have you'll say subscribe to receive our, weekly newsletter, monthly newsletter. And you just ask for a name and an email address. Well, now you're looking at a 3 to 5% conversion rate. So out of 100 people, you're looking at 3 to 5 leads. Now, free trial, free class. You're offering them something substantial now. You're asking for a name, email, phone number, and program of interest if you want to do that, okay? Now, here's a little trick about program of interest, and this is for those of you who have your website forms on your program buttons. When you select the program button, it goes to a separate campaign. So you already know what program they're interested in. Okay, now that's important, and I'll tell you why. Every time you ask for another piece of information, okay, so anytime you're asking beyond name and email, you reduce the chances of the lead entering their information. So let's just talk about that for a little moment. For those of you who have, say, for instance, a website opt-in form and you want to know the first name, the last name, the email address, the phone number, the gender, the age, and this and that, and what they're interested in, the more you ask for, the less likely they're going to enter in their information. By the time they get to the third question, they generally drop it. So that's just one heads up on that. So when you're asking for program of interest, be careful with that. Like I always say, is you should have a website form behind a program button. So every time they click a program button, you have a separate website form that links to a separate campaign, so you instantly know the program that they're interested in. Therefore, you're going to increase the number of leads who are going to enter the information into that website opt-in. Okay, but regardless, you're looking at now 10 to 20% conversion rate. Okay, so again, out of 100 people, you're looking at 10 to 20 leads. That's not bad. Now, 100 people come onto your site and you're offering a free download, a mini course, kit, success guide, ebook, okay, something free. You're just giving them something for free, and this is what Mr. Marketer is great at. Mr. Marketer's got ebooks for every type of style out there, and this is what they do. So you're asking for just a name and an email. Now you're looking at 35 to 65% conversion rate, okay? And you've obtained a lead. You've got an email address and you've got a name, and you know what they're interested in too. Okay, so now you can start nurturing this lead. You can start sending them emails, whether that be if you want to send them a manual one, or you can have Perfect Mind do it automatically. Okay, but this has a 35 to 65% conversion rate. You're essentially just giving them something for free. So always bear that in mind. Measure your marketing. What is a Perfect Mind campaign manager? Okay, so what services are your leads looking for? And this is, again, going back to campaigns. Campaign is what they're interested in, essentially what brought them to you. So you're tracking the campaign. Did they hear of you through Facebook? Did they hear of you through your website? You're constantly tracking the campaigns. Okay, you need to know where your leads are coming from. Now, CRM, for those of you who don't know what CRM is, it stands for Customer Relation Management. So all those of you with Perfect Mind, that is a CRM. It's your Customer Relation Management System for your school. Okay, so that's what a CRM is. So if you ever hear that term and you're unfamiliar with it, that's what it is. Now, you have all these leads. Let's hope by now you've obtained some leads. Okay, so the question now is, what do we do with those leads? So your system should nurture your leads. Now, nurturing is one of those things that we talked about in the email webinar. Having automated emails set up. So when a lead comes in, they enter in their information, the system starts nurturing them. And again, like I said, I'm not pushing our websites. I'm not pushing Mr. Marketer. Mr. Marketer does do that, though. Mr. Marketer nurtures your leads. It nurtures your students and nurtures your former students. Now, that's automatically set up. But for those of you who don't have Mr. Marketer, you can set some of those up yourself. And it is in that email webinar. Like I didn't want to get too specific into the actual training of Perfect Mind because we've talked about that quite extensively. But that information is on the email webinar. So if you want to go check that one out, you can figure out some of the ones that you can set up in there. Now, the first one who contacts them has a higher chance to sign them up. So this is the thing. Your leads are looking at your competitors. So if they're searching martial arts in Chicago or martial arts in Memphis or wherever it is, you know, they're looking at your competitors. So it's one of those things where it's going to be the first one to contact them. Now, the first one who contacts them is likely the first one that's obviously going to sign them up. So this is what we talked about, that automatic email triggering to you every time you get a lead. That should come to your phone, and you should make that phone call right away or send that email. Contact them immediately. Okay, so they're saying you likely have roughly around 10 minutes to contact that lead. You've piqued their interest. You've got them interested. Contact them immediately. For those of you who have landing pages and for whatever reason, if you don't have an automated email set up to trigger to you so you know when you get a new lead, you need to have that. That is absolutely essential. Okay, follow-up content should be supportive to the original page on the website. So this is going back, like if they're interested in kickboxing, send them information about kickboxing. You know, if they're interested in Krav Maga, don't send them information about judo. Like this is the thing. You have to know what they're interested in and send them information regarding this martial art that you teach at your school. So always remember what they're interested in. That goes back to program buttons. Like you've seen, a lot of you have it, I'm sure. The program buttons ultimately tell you instantly what they're interested in. So if you have a Krav Maga button on your website and they click Krav Maga and they enter in on the landing page for Krav Maga, well, then you know they're interested in Krav Maga. It's not rocket science, but send them information on your Krav Maga programs. So the checklist, okay, your automated emails. And again, we talked about that. You can have those set up and triggered so you can start nurturing your leads. And again, that's in the webinar. Notification to you and your staff. Make sure you know instantly the second you get a lead from your website. And like I said, Perfect Mind will email you the second you get one. And for whatever reason, again, if you don't get that email, just contact us and we will make sure that you do. Maybe a different email address on file, but that's the number one rule. You need to get your leads fast. Know their primary interests before the first phone call. So this is the thing, right? Again, it's boiling down to know what they entered their information on. Program buttons are great this way. Again, going back to, say, for instance, if you have a jiu-jitsu button and you teach jiu-jitsu at your school, but say, for instance, you also teach kickboxing, you have a kickboxing button, well, you want to know what you're getting into before that call. So you want to know, is there interest in jiu-jitsu or is there interest in kickboxing? Different opt-in forms for different pages. So again, this is tracking the campaigns. When I say the opt-in form, again, it goes down to program buttons because your Krav Maga form is connected to your website Krav Maga campaign. Okay? Always remember that. Track your campaigns. Know what's successful. If nobody is interested in your kickboxing program and everybody's interested in Krav Maga, you know, I mean, these are the things that you need to measure. Call them within 10 minutes. And this is like I said before, you have 10 minutes. You've piqued their interest. You have 10 minutes to contact them. And this, again, boils down to the notification to you and your staff. If you're going to contact them in 10 minutes, you need to get that email notification. You need to get that email to your phone. Reports. Okay, so this is what it's all about, is having a proper reporting system so you can track all of this. Find out ultimately what's successful, what's not. So Perfect Mind has this. It's tracking the campaigns. It's showing you how many leads you're getting, and it's showing you ultimately how many leads you're converting. So reporting system for, say, for instance, Google Analytics. For those of you who do SEO with us, and for those of you who don't know what SEO is, search engine optimization, essentially raising your ranking on search engines. We can provide you with Google Analytics so we can show you exactly where people are going on your website, how long they're going on your website. These are the things you need to know. You need to be able to measure these things. So on that note, I wanted to talk a little bit and go back into Perfect Mind here and just a couple of things that I wanted to talk about, and I was going to show everybody something kind of cool. that maybe some of you know, maybe some of you don't. But I was just going to jump on this for a little bit. Briefly, I just want to go over a couple things here. In terms of leads, the dashboard actually will tell you how many leads you need to hit your target. So for those of you who use your dashboard, and obviously a lot of the schools here become dependent on the dashboard. The dashboard's a great feature. You set your yearly growth target, okay? You decide the range, and what Perfect Mind ultimately does is it sets your targets. So if you say, I want to have 25% growth this month, then you need to get 16 leads. Now, when I say 16 leads, that just means somebody who has either walked through the door of your school, you don't have an appointment with them, or somebody who has opted in on the website. Now, next step is appointments. Appointments means you've actually booked them. So you've booked them for an intro. Once you book them for an intro, the dashboard calculates that, okay? So it's saying now to get 25%. This is all based off industry standards. And again, this is measured off of business intelligence. It says you're going to have to book 14 appointments in order to hit your growth target. Now, intro 1 means they showed up for the intro. They actually attended the intro, and bear in mind, in order to measure this, you have to measure your intros. You have to attend your intros. So this is intro 1, intro 2. So for intro 1s, you're going to need 13 people to show up for intro 1. You're going to need 10 people to show up for intro 2. And then ultimately, your target is going to be to get 8 new students. Now, these stats work. And again, they're based off business intelligence that we see over thousands of clients in Perfect Mind. So for those of you who didn't know how that was measured, that's ultimately how it works. And the dashboard measures everything from your membership sales to product sales to your ABC students. ABC students is a big one. And again, I keep pushing these webinars, but a lot of this, for those of you who didn't take those previous ones, this makes a lot more sense if you do. Because again, on the dashboard, ABC students is huge. You always want to know who your A, B, and C students are. Now, the one thing about, and I wanted to talk about that because I didn't want to keep pushing our websites because I know a lot of you don't have a website with us. You are able to create your own website form and embed it on your website. And it's in the settings area. When you go to the settings area, you have an area called forms. And this one you can see there's a whole bunch set up here from Mr. Marketer. But you can create new forms, okay? So you can create your form, whatever you want to call it. Call it test for now. And you can create different page layouts here. So essentially you can say, for instance, contact for member, online form simple. We have different page layouts. Online form simple is the one you generally want to use. Now, here's the secret, the campaign. You click here and you can have your campaigns listed right here. And we can create a new campaign here. So we just give our campaign a name. And all you got to do is make it active. And here's where I was talking about you can actually track the cost of it as well. In this case, there is no cost. This is a freebie. And from here, we can say, enter info below to receive 1 free week. You can even change what it says here. This is the button that they'll click. So you can say, get started now. And from there, you can save it. Now, when you save it here, it does 2 things, okay? It gives you this link, and it gives you this iframe code here. Now, this is for those of you who don't have a website form with us, okay? Those of you who don't use our websites, you can still use our website opt-ins. So you can actually just copy this code, give that to your web designer, or if you yourself are the web designer, you can embed that in your site. You can send this link out as well, and it creates an instant landing page, okay? Now, obviously, when you embed it in your site, you can actually adjust the width and the height and so on. But this is something that is just a link, and you can take this link to bit.ly.com, and you can shrink it down so it's not so big and long. And you can, from there, post it on Facebook every now and then. And I always suggest this too. Try not to bombard people on Facebook. You know, you want to get leads, but don't constantly ask for them every single day and send this link out. But this link will work anywhere. You can send this link out when people enter in their information. Again, you'll get a new lead, and you will receive lead notification through your email. So from there, I want to open it up, and I want to ask some questions, or if you guys have any questions, if you guys want to fire them away right now, we can go from there. Now, again, while we're waiting for some of the questions to come in, I just want to mention again, all of our previous webinars are on our Facebook page. The other thing is you can go to our ChampionsWay.com page, and what you can do is you can actually scroll down to the bottom of the footer, and there's an area there for webinars for all of our previous webinars we also have as well. So we'll wait for those questions to come in, and again, if there are no questions, I don't see anybody asking anything quite yet. Oh, there we go. Now we got them coming in. How do you get leads through Facebook? That's exactly what we're showing here. This link up here, okay, actually, let's take this so everybody knows how this works. Copy this link, go to what's bit.ly.com, and bit.ly.com, for those of you who don't know what it is, you just paste the link in there and it shortens the link and it gives you a little shortened link. And from there, you can just copy this link. You copy this link now and you can post it on Facebook. So a good way to look at it now would be, you could say, hey, anybody interested in a free week of kickboxing lessons, click the link and enter your information. That's one way to get the lead. And again, if what we did in terms of the form itself, if that was a little fast, what we can do then is I will send you a copy of the webinar. Anybody who attends this webinar today, by the way, will receive a copy of it as well. So from there, that's one way you could do it. Okay, regarding the individual opt-in forms for each program link, can you quickly show how to link an opt-in form to a specific page and show what the email notification to me and my staff would look like? I can't show you, to a specific page, like on your website. Typically what it is you're creating that landing page. Now if you're talking about our websites, they're already created. If you have websites with us, depending on your package, you should have actual website opt-ins to your specific program buttons. Now, what the actual email says is it says you have received a new lead, and you received the campaign of the lead, and you received the first name, the last name, the email address, and the phone number. So you know what they're interested, you know who they are, you know how to contact them. But in terms of it, the way you would set up your different landing pages for programs, like say, for instance, if you don't have a website with us, you set them up for different campaigns. So in that area, and again, we're going to send you the webinar, so you'll see exactly how I created that website form, landing page, website opt-in. Everybody's got a different term for it. That's ultimately what you embed, and for each program, you link it to a separate campaign, so you know what they're interested in. Okay, where can I go to enter the Intro 1 and Intro 2 and PM, and how does that work? Intro 1 and Intro 2, I'll just show you real quick here. When you go to a contact, and the idea here is, you're entering your contacts in, or the contact's already in because they came in through your, website. They'll automatically be uploaded here. So you've got them in the phone or you've got them in front of you. The idea is you schedule right from the contact page. You go to the calendar, okay? And from here, you can go and create an intro. But when I select an intro, what I do, I change it here to intro. And here is the type of intro. So here's where you choose Intro 1 or Intro 2. Intro 3 is not tracked on the dashboard. Intro 1 and Intro 2 are ultimately what we're looking for. By 2 intros, we're looking to close the lead and convert them to an active student. So that's how you track those. Now, the key, though, is when you create this intro, you automatically, say, for instance, here, when you save it, Intro 1, in the subject line, I always put the name of the lead. So at a glance, I know who's coming. When I save this, it automatically books the attendee for me. So it puts the student right there, or the potential student. So it books them in. But the key is, after that, is to go to check-in and attend the student. Or attend the lead. Make sure you attend, because your dashboard stats, your Intro 1s and your Intro 2s, they're based off who attended. So that's very, very important. Where can I go to Intro 1, Intro 2? Okay, we showed that. I don't have Mr. Marketer yet set up. Is it on already? If you have it in your package. If you have it in your package, I'd have to look at it on an individual basis. Email us at marketing@championsway.com, and we can have a look to see if it's already installed or if you currently have it. What is the best way to use this for customer referrals? Actually, okay, let's talk about that. This is the best way to find customer referrals in terms of, say, for instance, getting student referrals. If you guys are tracking attendance, this is really going to be the biggest thing here, okay? The happy students are the ones that you want to actually ask for the referrals. And the best way to track that is by your attendance rating. This is a gold mine. For people who are looking for student referrals, okay, the people who are A-rated students, and this gets back to A, B, C. Now, again, I didn't get too much into this because we talked about this in the last webinar, attendance and retention. Now, this is for those of you who track attendance diligently. If you're tracking attendance diligently, then your attendance rating for these students will be A. And you'll have some B's and you're going to have some C's. Okay? C students are the ones that come less than once per week. Okay, those are not the people you want to ask for referrals. People who come less than once per week are not the happiest of students. And in fact, those are the ones you want to contact and find out exactly why they're coming less than once per week. But your A students and your B students, A students are typically people that come twice per week. That's what we consider an A. People who are B students typically come once per week. So that's what we consider a B. Now, those are your happy students, okay? People who come to your school twice per week, they love you. They're the ones who are going to refer their friends. And the reason why, and everybody knows this, why is a student referral so valuable over a brand new lead? It's because the student referral lead already has trust in you. You've won over his friend. Okay, so he knows his friends recommended you already. So that's an easy lead to convert. But ultimately here, the attendance rating is the key to getting student referrals. That's your gold mine. So sending an email blast out to all of your A-rated students and asking them for a student referral. Say, hey, do you guys know 5 friends that might be interested in a free week of kickboxing? Email me back, let me know. And you can send one email blast out to everybody. And likewise, send it out to your B students as well. Okay, let's see here. My website form is through CWay, but every program page is the same opt-in form. Okay, so this is one of those things where it depends on your packaging. Okay, different packages, we offer different landing pages for specific programs. Now that is in the SMO program, and that's in the Mr. Marketer program. Typically now it's all about Mr. Marketer. We can look at that. I would email, again, marketing@ChampionsWay. Let's see what package you have, and let's see what maybe we can do there. Again, it's one of those things that I do feel is important because you do want to know exactly what program they're interested in. Okay, I want to have targeted marketing for personal training. I only want to target people who have the money to spend both on group classes and private training. How do I go about getting hyper-targeted leads? I mean, in this case, I mean, any lead, in my opinion, is a lead. So, I mean, to target a higher caliber of lead, I mean, I wouldn't say that that's advisable. I mean, it depends where you want to go. I mean, I guess essentially what you could do if you really want to look at it, if you look at the average income of, say, for instance, Facebook users versus LinkedIn users, then you may want to actually try and promote, on LinkedIn. I mean, that's just some advice. I mean, I personally say a lead is a lead. I don't care about their income because all I want to do is I want to get them through the door of my school. I'll figure it out from there. But, I mean, if you're looking in terms of social media, yeah, maybe you want to plug things on LinkedIn. Now, that's about all the time we have for questions, everybody. So I want to thank everybody for coming out to the webinar. If I missed anybody's questions, I apologize, but please send them to marketing@championsway.com. And like I said, everybody who attended the webinar, you will receive a recording of it. And for all those of you, and this was actually, we had a lot of attendees in this webinar. This is one of the biggest ones we've had. For those of you who missed the previous ones, a lot of this will make more sense. Like I said, it all kind of led into this. The attendance and retention webinar, the email webinar, and the automated billing webinar, it all leads into this. So go back, watch those webinars. And like I said, if you can't find them on the Facebook page, or if you can't find them on our website, email marketing@championsway.com. Excuse me. And this is going to be a weekly thing. We're going to be offering these webinars to all of you on a weekly basis. So look out for our next webinar next week. Okay, you'll see the pop-up, and you'll also you'll get the email, and hopefully we see you there. I want everybody to have a great day, and thanks for attending.